Okay, hi team. If you're somebody whose life looks really attractive and good on the outside, but inside you feel like something is off, I want you to know you're not alone. This topic continues to come up for me in my coaching sessions with one-on-one clients. And it's coming up so much that I would just like to dedicate an entire video to the topic of alignment, of aligning our inner worlds and our outer worlds, and building a life that really feels like it connects to who we actually are and where we actually want to go. I've been working with this woman who's really quite exceptional. She is the CFO of a multi-million dollar company. She has a beautiful family. She's got young kids. They live in a great house. They're making good money. Like, from the outside looking in, she had every box checked for a good, successful, happy life. So actually, when she booked me for coaching, there was a part of me that was like, I wonder what we're doing here. Thankfully, she's very competent, so she kind of already knew like what was going wrong. But in our very first session, she said, Jess, if you look at my life, it is a direct reflection of everybody else's expectations of me, but it isn't a reflection of my own values and what I want. So we spent the next 8 weeks like tweaking her life and figuring out what are the things she believes, like why is she doing things the way she's doing them, and how can we make the changes that we need to make so she can really have joy. And it's like you know how a sponge, when it gets too dry, it can't absorb anything. I actually looked this up to see, like, is this a real thing or am I just making this up? But no, it's a real thing. A sponge is going to absorb the most when it's a little bit damp. And what I found is some of these women who are reaching out to me, they're at a point where they're feeling sort of dry, like too dry to absorb the joy that their life is producing. And they're looking around at loved ones going like, well, I have every reason to be happy and like my people seem pretty happy, but for whatever reason inside of myself, I can't absorb it. And what I'd like to do through this video is make you a little damp so you can absorb a bit more joy in your own life. I also would like to speak to those of you who would say, no, Jess, my life doesn't look great on the outside. My life actually feels pretty upside down right now. And that's perfect. That, I don't know if that's better than the other group of people, but it's definitely not worse, because if your life is upside down and it's not what you want it to be, then we're starting at ground level and we can build and we can make something beautiful and something very much in touch and aligned with who you are and what you want for yourself. And so I'm here for it. And this is week 2 now of an 8-week series. So if this is your very first video of mine, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. But I do encourage you to go back in time and watch last week's video just so you can understand me and what I'm personally going through right now to help provide some context for what we're doing together. But all of this is coming out of prep that I'm doing for an 8-week coaching intensive for mothers that starts in June. And that is going to be really exciting. But as I was prepping for it, I was thinking, how could I take some of the tools that I'm going to be able to give to these women and present them to you in a way that is free for those of you who need it to be free, but also in video form. You can listen to it whenever you want. You can watch it however you want. Also, I think some of you are suspicious of coaching, which I also am suspicious of pretty much anything that's trying to be sold to me through the internet. I'm just like, yeah, I doubt it. You promise it'll change my life? I absolutely doubt it. And so I really get it. If you're like, no, I would never pay for coaching. I will never join any of your Tuesday Zoom calls. I am right there with you. What I'm hoping is that you almost don't have to, which maybe that's bad business, but I hope that you can get enough out of these 8 weeks that it really will impact your life in a positive way and make you a little more damp and make your life more aligned with who you actually are and what you actually want for yourself in your future. I want you to zoom out, take a moment and reflect on your life and ask yourself, whose life am I building? Am I living for everybody else? Am I living for my children? Am I living for my job? Am I reacting to everybody else's needs? Or am I living a life that is in response to who I am? I was thinking about you before filming this because I recognize that some of you came from homes when you were children, you didn't have healthy, stable adults in your life. And so for whatever reason, whatever the issues were, you learned that you needed to like shape shift and people please and really quiet down whatever your needs were in order to survive the upbringing that you had. And I honor that because that is not easy. And it served you in the time that it served you. But now that you're an adult, you're still carrying those same like coping mechanisms with you. And now is a time where you're having to learn things that some of us learned over many years. You're having to learn, how do I identify my needs? How do I express my needs? Some of you don't know how to express a need without it being like a big dramatic crisis. Like, I can't get anyone's attention unless I'm super sick or I'm having a panic attack or I'm having a mental breakdown. I would really like to get us to a point where we can just kind of daily check in with ourselves. How are we doing? What do we need? And then be able to use our words. I almost sound like I'm talking to kids, which I don't mean to I don't mean to be condescending in any way. I also talk to kids because I have 3 of them. But use your words, like being able to say very directly, this is what I feel. This is what I think. This is what I need. This is what is hurting my feelings. This is what is feeling like too much for me. And actually using our words, because without that, we end up being passive aggressive. We end up having things come out sideways. We've talked about that on the podcast before. This sense of like, I'm not going to tell you what I need, but you're definitely going to feel the fact that I'm not okay. And then you're going to need to guess what's wrong, because it should be obvious, because you should know me. You know, we paint this whole picture when actually, if we could like bring it in, figure out what's going on, communicate it, and have a much more productive life and interactions with our loved ones. So that's what I'm hoping I can help you do in this video, but also in future times together. Yeah, so you're zooming out, you're allowed to pause, you can reassess, you can make a change at any point in your life. This is a really funny side track for a second, but I'm 36, and one of the things I felt in the last few years is some fear about getting older. I don't want to. I'm like kind of against being afraid of getting older because I just think it tortures people for no good reason. But it's also a real part of my life. So I'm just telling you about it. What I started doing on social media was following older women who I find inspirational and aspirational for whatever reasons. And it is really helping me to dream of the future in a way that is really hopeful and good. But it's also reassured me that you can start over and rebuild and pivot and make changes and grow and evolve at any stage of your life. So some of you are watching this being like, it's too late for me. I've already done this. My best years are behind me. I've literally had some of you write me, my best years are behind me. And you're like 34 years old. And I just want to tell you, no, they are stinking not. They are not. But I understand that feeling. And what I want to first just challenge is that belief system that would hold you back and make you think that everything good is way back there, because everything good is back there and up here. And we're just trying to get you well enough so that you can fully grab hold of all the good stuff up here. I remember when I lived in Barcelona, some of you followed me then. That was when Eloise was 1 to like before Wilson was born, in 2019. Anyway, okay. When I lived in Barcelona, my life was very dreamy, which is so unfortunate because I felt like crap. I was so deeply depressed for that first year. It is like, it was embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Is it though? It's life, whatever. It's already happened. I felt like I couldn't openly tell people how badly I was struggling because my life looked gorgeous. I had a beautiful home. We lived 10 minutes from the beach. I worked for a nonprofit that I loved. There were a million reasons why I should be happy. I also didn't want to tell people I was struggling in motherhood because I knew people who really longed to be a mom and were struggling with fertility. And I had all of these reasons why I didn't want to be open about what was going on inside of me and what the pain points were, because I felt guilty. How could I have any sort of pain point when life looked so lovely? And I just want to say that because some of you feel so guilty about feeling bad that it's hindering you from getting the help you need, and you just don't have to. And also, on that topic, sometimes we feel guilty because we're like, well, because someone over there doesn't have something, I shouldn't get the help that I need. My thought is more like, no, get the help you need and then actually help the thing over there. If you're feeling like, well, I can't express how much I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z because someone over there doesn't have clean water, so how could I complain? How about instead You figure out how to live a better life, sort out X, Y, and Z, and then become a problem solver and someone who actually helps the problem of clean water over there. So I guess when it comes to challenging belief systems, it's even challenging the guilt and pointing out the flaw in that thinking, because it doesn't serve anyone for me to guilt myself out of getting proper help so that I can be a better version of myself and love my people better and serve essentially the world better. If I'm not doing well, everybody in my orbit is going to feel that, even if I pretend they don't because I'm faking it till I make it. Like, none of us are that good of actors, and people pick up on our energy and like our it sounds like I'm so like woo woo, like our energy, they pick up on it, but they pick up on our energy. They really do. Even little kids know if we're not doing well. And so why not take that as an opportunity to go fill ourselves up, because the more we have, the more we give. I know that about you. I actually know that the audience here who finds its way to this channel, you guys are givers and lovers and nurturers. You're very funny. You're very cute. You got so much goodness in you. And when you feel good inside, you give more and love more. And so there should be absolutely no guilt about getting your needs met, because it actually is going to pour out and overflow into everybody who cares about you. And so if you need to reframe it in some way to be like, yeah, I'm going to go take care of myself, because in doing that, I'm going to take better care of my small child, Larry, who I made. What if we named him Larry? You'll take better care of Larry and Howard if you take better care of yourself, right? I know that. We know that. We know that. You already know that. I'm just saying what you know. One of the fastest ways we lose alignment with ourselves is by trying to do it all, by feeling like we have to spread ourselves thin, we have to accomplish everything, we have to say yes to every opportunity that crosses our path. That is a really surefire way to start feeling like we are no longer in touch with ourselves, and to start feeling like maybe outwardly we are Miss Do Everything and Be Awesome, but inside we are like, I'm falling apart. I don't like my life. This sucks. That's because our bodies weren't designed for that. Imagine running a company where you are doing everything. You're the CEO and you're the janitor and you're the chef and you're the chauffeur and you're the marketing guy and you're the money guy and you're all the guys, and then you feel guilty about taking a lunch break. Okay, that business is going to fall apart. We know that. That is also true about life and family. If we don't stop to rest, to nourish ourselves, to do the very basics of taking care of a human body, getting exercise, getting some time outside, I don't know, all the things. You already know all the things because you're so smart. If we don't do all of the very basic things, we are going to fall apart. Our family life is going to fall apart. And so simply getting back to the basics and ensuring that we are not doing so much that we can't do very basic things. And what are the very basic things? I mean, we talk about this all the time, but moving our bodies, sleeping, eating well, drinking water, starting there, and then also having a social life, having a spiritual life. The basics stay the basics our whole life. They don't change. We add things and we take away things, but those remain really crucial for a healthy mind and a healthy life. That's actually kind of comforting, because then we can always go back to those key things to say, if we start there, everything else is going to get a little bit easier. There was a study published in the Maternal and Child Health Journal that said mothers who experience role overload reported having more depression, more exhaustion, and lower self-esteem. Now, we actually don't need a health journal report to know that that's true. That seems very basic. And yet, it's good to know about that, because so many of us are juggling way too many balls and we're feeling out of control and we're feeling like we have no time for ourselves, and we're wondering why we can't just smile more and why we can't just be more grateful and why we can't just manage our time better. And it's because it is an unrealistic expectation on our body and on our mind to do that. Even like our nervous system isn't designed to be on all of the time. So what do we have to do? We have to drop some balls. Sometimes it's a matter of setting balls down, and sometimes it's a matter of having balls taken from you. And for me, actually, they took my balls. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, part of it is that it's about to be dinner time and I got to finish the video. But part of it is that I had a shop here in Los Angeles where I was hosting mothers, and it's a whole process, but the shop closed. So some of the balls that I've been juggling are not there. And I do think it's very disorienting to have your balls taken away. And I have felt so much more peace. I have felt so much more connected to my family. I've slept better. I feel healthier overall. And it doesn't make it less sad that this dream that I had to work out in a certain way isn't working out the way I thought it would. That is still something that I'm going to process and figure out. And I feel genuinely grateful for the simplicity that this has given me and the way that I'm able to just focus my time on a few certain key things and then be able to have downtime and rest and do the stuff that really leads to a happy, healthy life. And yeah, some of you need to set down balls, some of you are having balls taken from you. And either way, I would just encourage you to not immediately go looking for more things to carry and more to juggle. What if we embrace slowing down a little bit so that we can be, I don't know, healthy and well? If you are not feeling like you can enjoy your own life, part of it is just simply that you are underslept and maybe underfed and maybe a little bit dehydrated and socially like disconnected. And so if we can get these components back in order, that could really help you. And then we wouldn't have to change that much of your life because your life that you've made is already something to be proud of. The invisible weight that a lot of women carry is the shoulds. I should be happier. I should be thinner. Is something that came out on a Zoom call with the moms on Tuesday was like, I should enjoy playing with my children more. I should enjoy having sex more, or I should initiate more. I should be a better friend. I should be a better employee. I should start my own business. Why haven't I done that? And the shoulds are so unhelpful because they're so vague and heavy, constantly moving. It like disguises itself as virtue, like, oh yeah, this is a great area that I could improve in. But instead, it is actually coming at you in a way that is not really achievable because it is so non-specific. Instead, perhaps we could reframe this to like, this week I'm going to be in touch with myself and I'm going to go, which of my friends should I, not should, let's lose the word should. Which of my friends would I like to connect with more this week? And then maybe we pick up our walkie talkie of a cell phone and we send them an audio message and remind them that we love them. Maybe we need to explain, like, hey, the lack of communication isn't a lack of love for you. I've been spread really thin, but I'm thinking of you and I think you're so wonderful. And that's that. And then we did it, and woo, great. We are the friend we want to be. One of the women that I've been working with said she felt that she should be available to everyone anytime they needed her. Now, what's interesting is she actually hadn't realized that that's the way she was living until we were talking. So some of this is like you really want to ask yourself, what are your shoulds? They might not be as clear as you think they are. For this woman, it's I should be available to everyone whenever they need me, which meant no matter when a phone call came in, no matter when a text message came in, no matter which friend showed up at her door going through something, needing something from her, she would stop everything to meet the needs of those around her. Now, she also has young children. She also works a job. She works from home, but she works around the clock. And so it was getting to a point where she's super responsible. Everybody's going to her for everything because she has taught them that she will respond in the moment according to their needs. But she's feeling worse and worse and worse and feeling resentful towards these people, almost like it's their fault that they're coming to her. But the thing is, we teach people how to treat us. And so what she and I have worked together on is creating systems and setting boundaries, not in a way that hurts people. Like nobody was really affected by it too much, but basically being able to say, okay, these are the hours of my day that I'll check my phone. If a text comes in between these two windows, I'm not going to respond because I'm going to be doing this other thing. This is the time of day that I'll be working. This is the time of day that I'll be doing family time. These are the days that I'll plan in time with friends. And then being able to live that out felt so good to her because she didn't get to the end of a week and go, wow, I didn't get to do any of the stuff I planned because I responded and said yes to everybody else. Instead, she was able to plan a week, know what she wanted to do with her time, and then mostly do it. And obviously, life is life. There's going to be sick kids, there's going to be, some sort of real crisis somewhere, but you are an adult. You get to decide, are you the one that handles the crisis? Some of you, this is actually something that comes up a lot. Some of you are big sisters. You're adults, but you are the big sister. And so you actually feel like your should is that you should always be available to resolve a crisis when it arises in your family. And I just want to tell you, as a big sister, and I love my sister, I'm obsessed with her. it's just not your responsibility. You are an adult. You are probably a mother, I'm assuming, if you found my channel, but you don't have to be for this to be true. You have your own life's responsibilities, and your adult family members have theirs. And sometimes you're only able to support someone so far, but you actually need them to support themselves. And you might need to say that to someone. Hey, mom. Hey, brother or sister. I love you so much and I want to be there for you. And I have all of these responsibilities that I want to tend to, and a full life. And so I'm not always going to be able to meet your needs. Can you please can you please consider getting a therapist? Can you please consider seeing a psychiatrist? Can you get a coach? Can you do whatever? But just know I won't be available to you. So these are the other resources. And then guess what? You're not responsible for making sure they go use those resources. You're only responsible for not meeting their needs every time they reach out to you, because you are prioritizing the needs of your children, your actual life, your immediate family. And that doesn't mean you don't love your family. It's in fact they're completely disconnected. You love your family of origin. You are crazy about them. You're obsessed with them, and you have a family now that you are raising, and so you're going to be intentional about them, and very intentional about when and how you support the other family members. Does that make sense? Alignment isn't all or nothing. It's not a complete rebrand. It's not selling everything and moving into an RV. It is small adjustments that are quite courageous because they don't come easily. Otherwise, you would have done them already. But little adjustments that help you be more in touch with who you are, what you want, and the life you really want to have. Some practical ways to do this. You could do the daily check-in. What do I need? One of the things I need pretty much every day, or I spiral into depression, is I need to move my body in some way. There's a neighborhood. I mean, I live in a neighborhood, but there's like a lap that I can take. I call it taking a lap. I love air quotes. I think I use my hands a lot here. It just feels like there's so much empty space. I take a lap, and at the end of the work day, I often will be like, all right, Shawnee, before we do dinner and bedtime, I'm going to go take a lap. And there's a big hill. I get to work my butt out, climb the big hill, come back. It's not long. I don't even know if it counts as much of a workout, but it's really good for my mind. I need it. So I know that I need it, so that I do it. What do you need? You need water. We already covered that. You need food. If you don't know that you need food, try watching your kids when they get hungry. See the way they freak out? You also are going through that. You've just learned to suppress it more. It's not good. I don't recommend it. So eat food, please. Nourishing food would be great. And then beyond that, that's all you, babe. Like, you get to see, what do I need? What do I want? Oh, I need a social life. I need to pursue this hobby. I need to go back to school. I need to be a stay-at-home mom. I need to start a career. I need to have some hard conversations with loved ones. I need to get a coach because I'm still feeling really tangled up and I'd like to untangle some of that. Whatever you need, you are worthy of getting your needs met. Okay? So daily check-in, what do I need? Because then if you know what you need, you can get the needs met. There's also something called the yes no inventory. It's very simple. It's essentially just asking yourself, have I said yes to anything that actually feels like a no inside of my body? Very simple. Have I volunteered for something that actually I don't want to be a part of? Have I agreed to something that actually isn't right? Have I been answering the phone for a friend who consistently doesn't seem to care about me but uses me as a sounding board? Okay, if inside my body I like have a reaction anytime a person calls me, that's actually a no. That's a no thanks. We're not going to do this conversation, okay? So it's asking yourself, is there a no happening inside my body, and how can I vocalize that, or make a decision based on what's actually happening? And the reverse could be, have I said no to something that's actually a yes? Do I continue to turn down fun opportunities because I'm trying to be the responsible person? Maybe I need to stop saying no and say yes to something that is fun and life-giving and special, even if it requires me to be away from my kids for a few hours or a day or a night, or I don't know, stay up later than I normally would, or whatever it is. It's seeing, is, have I said yes or no, but I feel the opposite. Let's try and get those back into alignment. And the third one is just the idea of a permission slip. I think some of us need to be reminded that we get to give ourselves permission. We are adults. We don't need any, We don't need anyone else to say, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can prioritize your well being. Yes, you can spend your own money on this thing. You're the adult. You get to even make bad decisions. There will be consequences, but you're an adult now. You get to give yourself permission to make decisions. And so, yeah, I've even heard people go so far as to like write themselves a permission slip. Now, I've never done that. I don't even know if I would recommend it, but I guess you could do it in your journal. Yeah, that could be cute. Like, I give myself permission to start my own business, because sometimes you have to do things that feel a little cringy, a little like, I give myself permission to start an Instagram account about baking. Like, I give myself permission to do that because some of my friends are going to think it's totally cringe. And whatever. Like, just go do the thing. It'll be great. I believe in you. Okay, that'll be another topic. You're not selfish for wanting more. Your joy doesn't steal from anyone else's. You being happy is great. Like, some of us are like, I'm going to play it small so I don't make anyone else uncomfortable. No, no, baby cakes. Like, their comfort is their responsibility. Your comfort is your responsibility. You do not need to redesign your life in a week. This doesn't need to be a quick process. In fact, the reason why I'm doing 8 weeks of videos is because I want this to be a gradual, sustainable change. However, like, in the long run, if we look back and we go, yeah, my life changed a lot in just 2 months, like, wow, that's fast. To change a life in 2 months is a big deal. But there's not pressure on you today. What I'm encouraging you to do is look for little ways to get your life back on track. I remember there was a period of my life where I really struggled with body image and eating and having a healthier relationship with food. And I was talking to my mother-in-law, she's so smart, about just my struggle, where I would feel like I'm on track, I'm doing a great job, and then I would blow it. And then I would feel like, oh, I ruined everything. And she said, yeah, when I feel that, I just remind myself I'm only one meal away from being back on track. I'm only one decision away from being on track. And I think that's important for you to know, that even as you look at your life and you figure out, like, okay, here's here's the thing I'm doing that's harming me, here's the thing I'm doing that I don't love, you're going to try to get yourself on track. But if you ever make a mistake, it's just a mistake. In fact, I joke with my kids. There was some time when Eloise needed to say, like, what's our family motto? She had to write it for school, and we don't have a family motto. And I was like, it's always make mistakes. And Sean and Eloise were like, that's a terrible motto. But you can tell I'm a perfectionist, and I needed like the opposite. I'm like, no, we have to make mistakes. Like, it's just part of the process. And now we joke that that's our motto: always make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. You're just one decision away from getting back on track, okay? I really want to say something to you that is gonna come across as a hard truth, but it is so wrapped in love. And if I could just grab your precious face and just like whisper sweet nothings of hope and encouragement over you, I would do it. And no one is coming to rescue us from our current life circumstances. Loved ones can support us, absolutely. We can hire professionals to help guide us. God can strengthen us, and God can redeem things that have been broken, absolutely. And you could argue with me theologically, like, but God is a rescuer, or the universe rescues. Okay, whatever. What I actually mean by this is that you have within you, maybe we could call it God in you. If you're going to be rescued, it will be God in you. And you will have to do the steps. You will need to make the changes. You will need to decide today that your life is worth beautifying and making awesome, and your dreams are worth chasing, and your children are worth loving hard and taking great care of. And it's you. It is. If we sit back and we go, yeah, well, I really hope someone else in my life realizes that it's not cool for them to expect me to be available all the time, we're going to get really bitter and really resentful and really tired, and nothing is going to change. Change will happen when we decide that we are ready to change. Change is ours to control. That's good. That's good news, because we have a lot of power when it comes to our own lives and our own ability to make a change. Like, that's all us. We got this. If any of you are looking at your life and you're feeling a bit victim-y, like, well, this always happens. Well, I've tried before, Jessica, and it's just not going to happen. Well, okay, we got to snap out of it, because I know. And if you want, like, if you ever want to talk one-on-one, I'd be happy to tell you a lot of different stuff that I have overcome to be somebody who believes so wholeheartedly in you. I don't care what you have been through. I absolutely believe that you can overcome it. And I don't believe it based on naive cotton candy faith. Like, I believe it because I have seen people do impossible things, come from impossible circumstances, and completely change their lives. But it takes deciding and changing and choosing and like sticking it out. Okay. And so yeah, so with all the love I can possibly muster up for you, I need you to value yourself and value your life enough to make some changes and to not sit back and wait and wish and go, well, I wish my husband would treat me better. Well, I wish my job would be nicer to work. No, honey buns. Let's switch jobs. No, let's have some hard conversations with our husband. Let's get the professional help that we need. Let's look at what it would be like to move over there if we desperately wish we lived over there and not over here. Like, let's do the hard work to actually change our life so that we can live a life that we're really proud of and really excited to be inside of. Why not? Like, what the heck? Here we are. What else are we going to do? Time is going to pass anyway, right? Okay. All right. All right. I got to go eat dinner. I love you. You guys are doing so great. And I'm so excited. We have 6 more weeks together. I'm going to be here. I'm hopefully going to get better at making videos. I am so out of practice. It has taken me the entire afternoon to make this video. It's even getting a little dark and I'm kind of sweaty, and good thing you can't smell through the screen because I've been wearing natural deodorant ever since I got cancer and it does not work. Anyway, okay, you're the best. I believe in you. Is there anything else I wrote? I just like you so much. If this resonates with you, if you think anyone else needs to hear it, will you send it to them? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, will you subscribe? Will you leave a comment? Will you tell me if you like this? I would love to hear from you. You are so great. Okay, I believe in you. Talk to you soon. Bye.